There is a moment in Shakta rituals where a sword is raised, a single blow is struck, and blood is collected before it touches the ground. Most people who see this today call it barbaric. Some call it evil. A few compare it to sati. All of them are missing the point entirely. To understand what's actually happening in that moment, you have to remove one lens and put on another. The lens most of us are wearing, whether we realize it or not, was ground in the 19th century by missionaries, by colonial administrators who needed Hindu practice to look primitive so their project looked civilized. The shame got passed down and now urban Hindus repeat it without knowing where it came from. The other lens is older, much older. Humans have been offering their highest offering, life itself, to the devas for as long as civilization has kept record. Seals from the Indus-Saraswati Valley civilization depict Bali of both animal and human. The act of Bali is one of the most important part of any Shakta puja, and it predates any arguments against it by thousands of years. So what is Bali? Bali is an offering, the highest offering, life itself, given back to the source of life. There is a precise ritual structure to it. You take a sankalpam, a formal statement of intent. You find an animal carrying the right lakshanas, the right qualities. You give it mantra diksha, initiation into the mantra, consecrating it as a worthy vessel. The sacrificial sword is itself consecrated, and then, with a single stroke, the offering is made. The blood is caught before it touches the ground and presented to Devi. The head and body become prasad, sacred gifts distributed to the community. Without any one of these steps, what you have is not Bali, it's just killing. The difference matters enormously. The most common objection goes like this: Devi is the divine mother. Why would a mother ask for the blood of her children? It's a fair question, but it contains a misunderstanding of who the divine mother actually is. Yes, she is the source. She holds, nurtures, and sustains. But the divine mother is also the entity that devours entire creations and gorges time itself during the great dissolution. Shiva is Mahakal, the great time. He is the principle that ends everything. But Mahakali is what devours even him. She is not subordinate to time. She is what time bows to. The Srimad Bhagavad Purana is explicit. Krishna instructs the worship of Devi through the offering of Bali. Remove the lens of Victorian morality and look at the dharmic traditions as they are. The actual Devi both creates and consumes. Bali honors the full truth of that. Now, to understand why she is like this, you need to meet her in the story where she becomes most herself. The demons stared as Durga's form magnified to embody every deity of the universe. Durga has slain Shumba. She watches him fall. But as he dies, he's sniggering and pointing at something behind her. What about him? She turns. A demon called Raktavija stands on the battlefield. His name means seed of blood, and his power is every drop of his blood that touches the ground spawns a new copy of him. The goddess gashed him, and as soon as blood fell on the ground, it gave rise to another like him. Again and again and again. The goddess closed her eyes. There was only one way out, only one being who could counteract him. Her forehead quivered, and out came the Devi again. Durga could hear the clanking of skulls, feel the fire of her rage. Kali had reappeared. Whirling furiously, she began slashing every Raktabija. Their blood was descending drop by drop, inching to touch the earth and spawn more replicas, when suddenly something fanned out. Something had appeared between the blood and the ground. Kali had unfurled her tongue and was scooping up all that blood before it could hit the earth. Her sword sliced again. As the Raktabijas bled once more, her tongue swooped again, lapping it up. She was devouring every drop now. The more Kali was drinking, the fewer Raktabijas were standing. The battlefield was becoming emptier. Her tongue was turning redder. The last Raktabija stood before her. Kali swung her sword, her tongue flicked again, and she gulped one last time. Shiva was watching. Shiva was smiling. But then he frowned. The killing of Raktabija had infected Kali with bloodlust, and she was now killing more and more beings, slurping more and more blood. Her tongue was lolling as if she wanted to suck the entire universe dry. Shiva manifested. He was watching her, lost in her own violent frenzy. He sprawled himself in the path of the goddess. Smacking her lips and jangling her garlands of skulls, Kali had turned blind to everything. The next moment, she froze, biting her tongue. She had stepped on her husband. That image, Kali standing on Shiva, tongue caught between her teeth, is one of the most reproduced in all of Hindu iconography. Kali is raw energy, pure force, absolute intensity. She is necessary because without her, Raktabija wins. But force without awareness consumes everything, including what it was meant to protect. Shiva is that awareness, still and silent, the witness behind the action. When energy operates without awareness, it becomes destruction without purpose. When she steps on him and catches herself, that is the moment of realization. That is the tongue between the teeth. And so this image is about the relationship between force and consciousness. Both are required and neither is complete without the other. And her name is Kali, which comes from Kal, meaning time. She is the force that ends things, old patterns, old identities, and old fears. She moves through cremation grounds because that is where things complete themselves. Her sword cuts through illusion, and the severed head she holds is ego, the thing that mistakes itself for permanence. So when you see Bali, the raised sword, the collection of blood, and the prasadam, you are looking at a tradition that has understood something for thousands of years. That is difficult to say plainly. Life is not diminished by being offered. It is consecrated. The divine does not only receive flowers and incense, the divine receives everything because the divine is everything, including the part that it ends. So this is a story about a goddess who drinks blood, and she is not the monster. She is the only one who could solve the problem.